CSI Team Alpha presents the next big thing. Andrew Gill, Ryan Larson, Jonathon Young,
High frame rate cinema. There's a budding trend of films being shot and projected at higher frame rates than the standard 24 frames per second. The current and long-standing standard frame rate for films, both shot on film and digitally, is 24 frames per second. That gives us the film look, which is a slightly juddery and slightly blurry quality to the movement of film. With the advent of video and television, the frame rate used for those cameras was up to 30 frames per second. People associated this with video because the motion was much smoother, and most didn't like it for film because it was too close to real life. Digital cameras were then produced with the prized 24 frames per second recording frame rate. Now with digital cinema on the rise, some films are being shot at higher frame rates. The first Hobbit film was shot at 48 frames per second. Being twice the conventional frame rate, it produces motion which is much more lifelike. From the beginning, most films have always tried to portray real life as closely as possible. With a trend toward higher frame rates in some films, they're taking what could be the next steps in cinema filming and projection frame rates. The more frames projected in a second, the more lifelike the motion will be. I feel that this is the next big thing for digital cinema because most filmmakers are always trying to make their films more realistic and more lifelike for the audience to really draw people into the story. With higher frame rates and more lifelike movement, motion pictures will continue to push forward, creating films that are more realistic and really draw people into the story because they look and feel like real life. More and more films will be shot and projected in higher frame rates as people continue to delve into the new technologies which will help them bring their visions to life in ever more realistic ways.
Video mapping is one of the most recent video projection techniques. It's used to turn almost any surface into a dynamic visual display, often for things like concerts, fashion shows, music festivals, and it's usually simultaneous with other performing arts. Video mapping uses technology as an instrument by composing and editing media to create motion graphics and images, also as a medium by presenting created images to audiences. The result is a more interesting video projection display. Rather than just 2D images on a flat screen, these images take life in their new 3D form.